What's up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to I guess this is our first official live stream of 2025. So happy New Year, everybody. This is the year of PCPX. That's right. We are celebrating 10 years on YouTube. The official anniversary is July 1st, but we're just going to go ham with it all year long. So anyway, welcome into the show. We were supposed to have Dynamite publisher Nick Barucci on, but he has postponed to hopefully next week on Thursday. We're going to see, that's the main goal. The first goal of 2025 PCPX is to get Nick Barucci in here for a conversation. I want to pick his brain and talk about him and his journey and his keys to success. But speaking of one of Nick's greatest successes, is probably hiring this absolutely perfect and awesome woman. So let's bring her in. Awesome Amy, what is up?
Thank you. Every time you get nicer introducing me.
Well, I like you, Amy. I think you're pretty cool. I've worked with some of your coworkers, and I think you're like the coolest out of all of them, to be honest with you.
Again, thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to PCP. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you do anything fun for the new year, Amy?
Oh, just hung out at a cousin's party. We played some games. Rung in the new year. It was nice. What about you?
Cool. I went to my girlfriend's house. We were throwing she was throwing a party for one of our mutual friends. It was her birthday on the 31st. So we were having a potluck birthday New Year's celebration thing. And
nice.
The next day is it's the 1st, but my shop was still open. It was Wednesday. It was New Comic Book Day. And at one point, I look over at everybody. We're just having a great time. I'm like, what time is it? And they're like, it's 3:30. And I'm like, oh, no. So I managed to get to work right around noon. I was hungover. I was worthless for about 4 hours till I decided to leave. So that was my New Year's Day. That's how I started the year. But the night before was super fun. So.
At least that's nice.
Yeah, we were having great conversations about like what we considered overrated horror films of 2024. Yeah, and most of us like it all kind of congregated on a big massive hating on the movie Longlegs. So that was pretty fun.
How did I know that was going to be it? How did I know?
Have you seen that one yet, Amy?
I did see it. It's a well-made movie, but that I think was a little overrated. Yeah. Because I wasn't like terrified. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So me and a homie, we were talking about it, right? And he was like, I need your thoughts, because he told me the same thing I was thinking. He's like, as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, man, this is beautifully shot. It seems really intense and important. It seems like it's filled with layers of dense meaning and things like that. But he goes, but I didn't really pick up on what the purpose of the movie was, and it made me feel stupid. So I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, no, I don't think this is a good movie. I just think it's a movie that's trying to mimic something like Silence of the Lambs, but doesn't actually have a point to its existence. Now, my girlfriend said this about it. She said the whole movie felt like we were just waiting for something. And then the credits rolled. Right. And that was kind of a thing with the movie where it is well shot. The music is great. The performances are fine. But what is the point of the movie? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, not getting something out of the movie. I totally understand that feeling, because I've watched movies and I'm like, what was the point of this? And I completely I'll give that movie a better review because I'm like, what was I supposed to get out of this? I mean, maybe the thing with Longlegs is that, like, I think it doesn't really bring in the supernatural element until later on, and maybe with some people it doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the movie. Sometimes people like it's okay if it still feels grounded, even though you had this extra element in there.
I was just waiting for the payoff, Amy. I was just like waiting for the payoff to the story. First of all, I always felt like I was waiting for the story to be set up, right? Like, even journeying through, I just was like, I came out of that movie being like, I don't know how I feel about this. I might be not getting it. And so I watched it again, and I'm just like, no, I think I get it. I think this is a director And apparently, my homie that we were chatting with telling me that he saw an interview with the director, where the director was like, "Oh, I'm just a big fan of movies like Silence of the Lambs, and I just wanted to kind of have a movie with that aesthetic." It's the movie, and I was like, "That makes sense, right? You're just trying to do something that looks tonally like something else, maybe." I don't know. I still haven't seen Nosferatu though, so I'm really, really pumped to watch that.
Oh my God, you'll love it.
Oh, did you watch it then?
I saw it this past weekend. It is this beautiful, psychotic nightmare, and you're like in a trance the whole time.
Oh, that's so
you
cool.
are completely sucked in this whole time. Everyone's great. The music, the lighting, because like everything's cold and dreary, and the acting's incredible. Just easily one of my top 5 of the year.
All right.
So,
my plan right now is to go Sunday afternoon. I don't really have anything going on Sunday, so I'm going to carve the time. I don't care what sacrifices have to be made, Amy. I'm going to see Nosferatu on Sunday, so I'm very much looking forward to it. How's what's his name? Skarsgård, I guess. Is it Bill Skarsgård?
Yes.
How is he as Orlok in the film?
Like, you go into that, like, I knew it was him going into the movie, but I'm watching the movie, I'm like, are we sure? Are we sure? Because like, I'll keep this as vague as possible, but for the good first half of the movie, you can't really see him very well. But because like he's far across the table. You're gonna look at him like, no, like I know it's Bill Skarsgård, but my brain refuses to believe that.
Okay.
His voice and his face. Like, I didn't think they could make Nosferatu more disgusting than he already is. I was wrong. I was dead wrong.
That's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out.
Yeah, like I'm telling people if they haven't seen the movie yet, but they don't know who plays Count Orlok, I'm like, don't look it up. I want you to see if you can guess. Like, that's how much he disappears. Like if you don't know it's him ahead of time, you're not going to believe it's him.
That's awesome. I saw an interview with him where he was like, I think I'm taking a break from horror movies. Like he's like, this one in particular took me down a dark path just to kind of embody that character. So I'm really excited to see it.
I don't blame him.
Would you say it's your favorite horror movie of 2024?
I'm like, it's this and The Substance is like right below it.
Okay. I still haven't seen The Substance. At first I heard nothing but great things about it. And now I get mixed reviews about it, but I still need to watch The Substance.
It might depend on like how you take in the message, but I think for women everywhere that it's in a way it's a must-watch movie.
Okay. Well, I since I haven't seen The Substance and I haven't seen Nosferatu, I can't really determine what my favorite horror film of the year is, right? The favorites of mine were like definitely Maxine. I have some of the same issues that a lot of other people had with it, but I don't care. I love X, Pearl, and Maxine, so I'm really excited for that. I haven't seen Oddity yet.
I haven't seen it either. I will put it on the watch list.
Yeah, Rogue's talking about it too. Yeah, I've been knee deep in Karate Kid movies this last week. So, hey, what's up, Triple B? Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Maxine too. But one of my biggest surprises this year was Smile 2. Like, I thought the first Smile was good. I liked it for what it was, but I had some issues with it. Most of those issues were, I felt like the main characters were kind of boring. They weren't super engaging. Didn't have a nice, like, exciting flow to it. Though the first Smile has one of the greatest jump scares in my life. When she's like listening to that audio on her computer and it like gets real close on the wave file or whatever. And then like something jumps at her and just like screams at her. Gets me every time, Amy. But Smile 2 corrected all of that. Like a character and a story I was supremely engaged with. Outer characters that I was very compelled by, and a story that I thought really, and just the opening scene. Did you watch Smile 2?
Unfortunately, not yet, but it is on the watch list because I like what you said. I've heard a lot of people like prefer this one, so I'm like, oh, okay. Because I thought Smile was initially a surprise when that first came out. That was a pleasant surprise. So they make this one, it's even better. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it seems like most people think it's better, and that's interesting. I will tell you this. This isn't spoilers, right? But I love it when horror movies do this. You know how like there is a survivor at the end of the first Smile movie, right?
Mhm.
If you remember the end of that movie. This movie starts with that character, and it has this really incredibly awesome, like one take, like sequence that lasts like at least 5 to 8 minutes or something.
Wow.
It's so freaking good. So good. It's amazing. All right. I got to watch Nosferatu and the Substance. You got to watch Smile too. And we'll talk about it next time. All right. That's what we're doing. Strange Darlings, another one I hear. I missed a lot of them this year. Honestly, I don't know. I tried to like pay attention, but like a lot of these horror movies, they like pop. I hear about them, I look, and they're gone within 2 weeks at my movie theater, you know? And I guess you just got to wait for the streaming and all that kind of stuff.
Thankfully, January and February for me are the 2 months where I catch up on what I missed last year. I catch up on indie movies. I look at what's getting nominated for all the awards. So I do a lot of catching up over the first couple months of the year.
Yeah. And I've spent a lot of time over the last couple months because my buddy in town runs a video store. And I'll go up there and we'll get into like talking about movies and stuff. And he'll like be talking about movies that I haven't seen. And then I want to watch them. And like, so recently I've been watching, like I watched Cinema Paradiso, which is like from, I think 88, 89. That movie was brilliant. I watched The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and Her Lover from like 1990 with Helen Mirren and Michael Gambon and Tim Roth. That's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen now. And these are movies I hadn't even really necessarily heard about. And just like last week, I watched In Bruges for the first time with Colin Farrell and I think Brandon Gleeson. It's the exact same team, writer, director, and everything of Banshees of Inisherin, which really enamored me a couple years ago. But In Bruges, and all three of those movies, Cinema Paradiso, The Cook, The Thief, The Wife and His Lover, or Her Lover, and In Bruges were like three of the best films I've ever seen. So I've been diving back even deeper. You ever seen any of those movies?
Cinema Paradiso is one of the most powerful films I've ever seen because you really want a movie that shows you the power of cinema. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, that's how it was pitched to me. Like there was a woman who runs a VHS store in my town, and she was up at my buddy's video store, and we were all chatting, and they were talking about that movie. I was like, I've heard about it, but I've never watched it. They're like, this is a movie for people who love cinema. Like, this is a movie for people who love movies. So I was like, let me check it out. And I'm right there with you, buddy. That movie was very moving, very moving. And Anthony, I watched Gremlins too. I did watch some Christmas horror this year. I watched Black Christmas, Gremlins, the original Jack Frost, and Christmas Bloody Christmas. That was my holiday watching this year. Cinema Paradiso is great. In Bruges is amazing, Amy. Colin Farrell, his performance alone is worth it. Peter Dinklage is in it, right? Like, because it's such a good movie.
If I really like Banshees, that's on the watch list too.
Yeah, it's the same writer, director, the same stars. It's I loved Banshees, and I was like, yeah, I've always heard In Bruges was good, but I never really checked it out. And if I would have watched that movie when it first came out, it would have been like one of my favorite films that year. 100%. 100%. All right, before we get too sidetracked, Amy, Dynamite has their first full week of releases next week, because this week we just had the Vampirella book. Last week we just had the Vampirella Holiday Special. But now we got a bunch of books coming out, including some debuts, including some work from my buddy Joe Corallo, who edited a certain book that I'm sure you'll be talking about. So what we got coming up on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day?
We're going to steam ahead into this new year, because I emailed you recently about some more stuff that's coming out this winter.
And you get my response to that email, by the way?
Yes.
It was just my response was yes.
Yes, and I'm after this, I'll probably start getting you reconnected with some people. But right now we gotta focus on these But yeah, we got a nice one shot. We got some brand new series. The one that's not here, it's Red Sonja number 17, but it's the Torn Grombeck series by Walter Giovanni doing the art, and it's very easy to find because we got the classic Dynamite artists doing the covers: Perillo, Bjorn Brenz, Joseph Michael Linsner, Walter Giovanni himself doing a cover. Molly Stewart's doing the cosplay on that issue. So even though it's not here, don't forget to look for Red Sonja. But up top right here, we're really excited. Zootopia is finally coming. We've been talking about this for a while. Zootopia number 1. This is from Jeff Parker and Alessandro Rinaldi. And perfect time to drop because you'll have all this time to read it before the next movie comes out. But we got Trish Forster doing covers. We have Rinaldi doing covers, Craig Russo. We have a storybook variant. We have like a movie poster variant, a blank variant. We have a Dynamite.com exclusive, which, again, I'm using this to watch where I'm pointing. This is the Dynamite.com exclusive. So, I know a lot of Zootopia fans are excited. And by the way, I will be chatting with Jeff Parker next week, right before Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. Come join us. Come sit with us if you want to ask Jeff a question. I'm sure he'd be cool with answering. So yeah, Zootopia is blowing up right now.
Yeah, I love the movie. I'm glad I finally watched the movie, so I'll be able to read the book, knowing what I'm getting into, knowing that world, loving those characters. So when I had Jeff on the show, I had never seen it, and I think I got shamed by him and Alex, but it's fine.
That's okay. Our other debut this week, it's Green Hornet and Miss Fury. Well, not Miss Fury, but / Miss Fury. And this is from Alex Segura. I hope I'm saying his name right. And Federico Sorsesa. It's been a while since I've had to read names off. So I'm gotta retrain my brain for this again.
I've seen the art in this one too. It's really, really good. Really good.
I know last year Alex started doing some interviews. The book had to get pushed back a little bit, but finally we're able to talk about it, and I'm going to be talking with him next week as well. And hopefully you can see these covers pretty well. I mean, Francisco Francavilla, Jay Lee, Jonathan Case, Jacob Edgar, all doing spectacular covers. And then right down here, we got Alter States Purgatory, Grindhouse from Ray Fox and Alvaro Saraseca. So that's why I knew Alvaro's name was on here. That's why I'm mixing up with Federico. It's for Green Hornet and Miss Fury, it's Federico Soresa, and then Purgatory, it's Alvaro Saraseca. Yeah.
Okay. And we got some great covers there too. Yeah. So also, everybody, fans of Pop Culture Philosophers, one of our common and frequent panelists on Pop Culture Philosophers, and especially PCP Movie Night, is Joe Corallo. And he is the editor of the Green Hornet Miss Fury book. So if you want to support Joe's work, especially, go check that one out. I'm very, very excited. He's been working hard at that for a while. So I'm really excited for that to see publication. We got Bueller out there in the chat. What's up? We got Big Herm. How you doing? Amy, what can you do me a favor? Can you come up to the camera and kind of Vanna White some of those covers so we can get a good look at them? Is that possible?
Sure thing. Again, we had to print these out because they didn't. I think the back has all the books still packed up, but Alex made these printouts so you can still have a pretty good idea of what the covers are going to look like. Let's show off Zootopia. So that's going to be the A cover.
Alex is doing the Lord's work for us. That's good.
So this is Rinaldi's cover, which I think out of these is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that might be my favorite too. That one's really awesome.
And then this one's going to be the Dynamite exclusive cover. Yeah, it'll have a blank. It will have a cool character cover. And right, we have a storybook cover. We got a classic poster one. And there's gonna be more Disney coming later this year.
I can't wait to hear about it.
So Green Hornet and Miss Fury.
It's one of my favorite artists right there, Francisco Francavilla. Love his work. Excited to see him doing some Dynamite covers again.
I don't think, did you guys bring this up on Monday? Has John talked about because I mean, we know he's the biggest Green Hornet fan.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit. John's like super pumped for it. He's like, if I did a pick of the week, we already know what next week's is going to be. Dude, that Jay Lee cover is great. It's hard to pick a favorite cover out of these.
Well, I think we all know mine, but again, that's just me. See, so yeah, these might not be the actual books, but these are the covers, and they're beautiful covers. So yeah, Purgatory, we got a classic Linsner, we got a classic Lucio Thrio.
Those are some saucy covers for Purgatory. I like those. Very appropriate for the grindhouse element to it, right?
Mm-hmm. I think Green Hornet, Miss Fury will also have a blank.
Triple B, how many of those Purgatory covers are you buying? All of them? I bet it's all of them. I bet he's getting all of them. I bet he is. Who's looking forward to the Green Hornet Miss Fury book, though? Support PCP by supporting Joe Corallo, by supporting Dynamite, by picking that book up.
Yeah, I love a good team-up book. I mean, I'm thinking of
there hasn't
another
been a
one.
Green Hornet book in a while, right? Is this something that Nick has to approve every like couple of years so that John Cole doesn't get too irate and come in and just like start throwing like tomatoes at
you have to ask Nick that.
I will. Yeah, Triple B's getting all those Purgatory covers. I knew it.
But team-up books are always exciting. I mean, Free Comic Book Day this year, we're going to have a Thundercats and Powerpuff book, which is mind-blowing for me. Later this year, because it's in previews, I think I can bring it up, but we're going to have Space Ghost and Johnny Quest.
Yeah, Space Quest.
Space Quest.
With the team of Joe Casey and Sebastian Perez, right?
Yes. So hopefully we can get Joe Casey back on here soon so he can talk about that specific series, but
I don't think that's going to be a problem. Joe seems to like to be on here every 3 months for some reason, so I'm happy with it. He's one of my favorite writers from back in the 90s and 2000s, so I'm always down having Joe on the channel. Like, yeah, you got a new Vampirella launch with Christopher Priest. You got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So
Christopher's still on vacation, so hopefully soon we can both talk to him soon. It's a lot.
Yeah, meeting Priest was the first time I met Priest in person. Like I was so like trying not to nerd out, and Priest had this whole thing where when you came to see him, he would have you sit down at the table in front of him. He's like, I don't want to be looking up at you. I don't want you looking down at me, or vice versa. Sit down. Let's chat. So we sat down and we had a conversation. His Black Panther work in particular is of note to me. I'm a big fan of that. So we talked about that. We talked about Vampirella. We talked about Deathstroke. Christopher Priest is an amazing creator. And he's been in this industry longer than people realize because he was an editor before he even really kind of made a name for himself as a writer with books like Quantum and Woody. Oh my God. Like I went ham. I nerded out about Black Panther and Quantum and Woody in particular. But I love the idea that he was like, no, sit down, let's have a chat. Like, I love that. Nobody else I've ever met has done that. They're like, hey, we got a chair right there. Sit down. We're at the same table together, breaking bread, basically, right?
What I learned from speaking with him, like, just let him go. And he's so smart how he dives into stories and how he talks about the characters. So like I can just bring up a couple questions and he can give you entire history and like that.
And one of his, let us not forget, such a big contributor to one of the successful moments in the MCU because he was the one who created the Dora Milaje. in his Black Panther run. And his form of nonlinear storytelling is kind of like, I remember back in the day, it would be called Tarantino-esque, where I talked about that. And he's like, why would I tell a story from like the beginning all the way through to the end when I can like chop it up and like make it more interesting, right? Like otherwise it's the same story you always get, right? So I think he's such a great, brilliant mind. And he's been doing he's been on Vampirella for a long time right now at this point. That's a very extensive run. It's probably one of the more extensive and long form runs from a creator on a title that y'all have done outside of something like maybe The Boys, you know, where it went, but he may be reaching that kind of level. I don't know how many Vampirella comics has this dude done at this point. Like,
I mean, thinking back, I know he did, I want to say 2019 was when this newer run started, and then he did Vampirella Dracula, Vampirella Year One. So he's also has these miniseries under his belt as well, and it's all connected. And he did a second Vampirella Dracula, and so now it's going to be this one. So this is like his 5th or 6th Vampirella series.
It's ridiculous. Jay, you a big fan of Quantum and Woody? Quantum Woody's great. R.I.P. MD Bright. So some exciting books coming out in 2025 for Dynamite, Amy.
I know. I'm excited. Again, this is just our first week. Again, we're continuing with Space Ghost. We're continuing with DuckTales. We're going back with Darkwing next month.
Yep. Written by my new best friend, Daniel Kibblesmith. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Herculoids, and then Silverhawks, Thundercats, Lost is another one we're excited about. So it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the year keeps going, you know?
Yeah. And you can look forward to conversations with some of these creators here on PCP throughout the year. Oh yeah, but Jay, I'm 100% like the best Valiant book out there was Quantum and Woody. Like even when they brought it back, and I got to nerd out with Daniel Kibblesmith about this because Daniel Kibblesmith, along with Elliot Rahal, did the most recent Quantum and Woody book. Totally respecting what Bright and Priest did with their books. Yeah, Herm, we know you're excited for Darkwing. We know. We gotta Herm, go check out that conversation I had with Daniel Kibblesmith. Because I'm really excited for his Darkwing Duck because that book is
more
great.
Powerpuff Girls are coming. They have a Valentine's Day issue that's going to come out. I saw the covers for that, and I'm obsessed already. I'm going to try to ask. The next couple issues are going to be written by Amanda Deber. I'm going to ask. Hopefully, she's available soon so I can chat with her again. She's lovely. Again, guys, that's just the winter. I can only fathom what's gonna come out even later this year.
Plenty of stuff on the horizon that we can't even talk about yet. That's still in the works, right? Lots of crazy cool stuff. Herm, you know that's the Dynamite book I'm most looking forward to is Silverhawks. Amy, Silverhawks was like one of my favorite toy lines, and favorite cartoons when I was a kid. And I love He-Man, I love Turtles, I love Transformers, I liked G.I. Joe, I love Thundercats. But Silverhawks and Jim and the Holograms, those two have, and the Snorks, those 3 cartoons from the 80s have such a, like they're up on a pedestal for me, and you don't get a lot out of those franchises. So I'm so excited to have more Silverhawks, in particular from Ed Brisson, who is a super fan as well. And I can tell, because us super fans of Silverhawks, we can tell a phony. We really can, you know, so.
But before I forget, big thing on Thundercats. Guys, it's the last few days of our backer kit for the Thundercats Omnibus collection. So if you haven't yet, please go check it out. We broke another tier a while ago, so we want to keep climbing. We really want to bring you guys the coolest stuff, the coolest stuff ever. So please don't forget, please check out the Thundercats backer kit.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat, and the link is in the description as well. So, I mean, I'm really, really pumped for this. This is those things have not been in print. I think since they originally were in print.
Yeah,
Like,
any
I don't
Thundercats
think they've ever been
fan,
collected.
I think this is the ultimate gift you could get a Thundercats fan. And I'm thinking about like the things you could get beside like the Omnibus, because we're doing, you know, the hardcovers and we're doing special editions. Some are going to be signed. Larry Kenny himself, Lionel, is a part of this. So, and he's been helping out spreading the word. He was just on with our good pal Blurred Without Fear. So go check it out. Go check out that interview if you haven't yet. So
I think he was on Omar's channel too, right? Wasn't he on Near Mint Condition recently? I think he was.
He might have been. I'm mixing up schedules in my head. There's so much to get done, you guys. You think I'm frazzled now? Wait till, oh God, wait till spring.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Steve. Kelly and Sophie's Jim and the Holograms is amazing. And I think the best reinterpretation of an 80s property of all time. Like, seriously, it's one of my favorite comics of all time, Jim and the Holograms. That book is so amazing. Thundercats. Big Herm is excited about Thundercats. I was going to say Thundercats is excited about Big Herm, but I can't verify that for you, Herm. I just can't. So, yeah, lots of great stuff next week. Lots of great stuff coming up in 2025. More to even be announced. The announcements seem to have been nonstop with Dynamite over the last year. So that's going to continue, right, Amy?
We won't stop.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap up, I do got a question I wanted to ask you. Being a big movie fan, and I really love talking with you about movies. What is your favorite music moment in a film? So, for instance, while you're thinking about it, one of the most popular and one that people mention all the time is in Say Anything. When John Cusack shows up with the stereo, blast Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes outside of the door. That's a great music moment in a film. Me, I love Don't You Forget About Me in Breakfast Club. That's a good one, you know? So what you got? Anything pop in your head?
So specifically like just a music moment, not a musical, because I'm also a musical nerd. So
you could give us one of each if you really wanted to, but
I mean, a moment where music is used something like that. That's a hard question.
I know. It's good though, right? It's a good question. That's a good question. You got to think about it. You can think about it, Amy. Ain't nobody putting you on. I mean, we're putting you on the spot, but don't feel like you just got to give us an answer right now. You can think about it. You know what? There's Dirty Dancing's got some I know that people are fans of.
I know a lot of movies, like you think of a specific song, you think of this movie moment.
Yeah, what would I even pick, for instance? Oh, for me,
anyone out there got their pick?
I might go with the Confusion by New Order, but the remix at the beginning of Blade. That opening of Blade, that bum ba dum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba dum ba dum. Now that may not be the most impactful music moment in a film. I know there's tons of them. What y'all got? What you got? Queen's Don't Stop Me Now and Shaun of the Dead. Yep.
You know, I mean, earlier this year we saw some great examples. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine used Bye 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 in a very fun way.
That's true. James Gunn has used a lot really, really well. The opening of Guardians 2 in particular is a favorite of mine. That's a good one. Yeah, anything pop in your head, Amy? Even if it involves a musical.
One of the best uses of a song. I'm gonna go back to my childhood. I'm thinking about the big climax in Shrek 2 where they're singing I Need a Hero.
Okay, yeah, that's
a good remix version, but it's epic and it's crazy and insane. Like, it's just people like will think of that. We'll go to that version of the song more than the original because it's just
heck yeah. Eric, that was one of my examples. Peter Gabriel and Say Anything. Jay, you're right. Stuck in the Middle with You and Reservoir Dogs. Oh my God, you're right. That's such a good one, man. That's a great scene where he cuts off the cop's ear. And Eddie, come on, Bohemian Rhapsody and Wayne's World. Yes, that's like
that movie's the reason you have to headbang to that song.
Every time you play that song in a group of people, especially if we've been drinking, we'll all start singing along. And when we get to that moment, we'll all start doing this. And it's all because of Wayne's World. Wayne's World elevated that song.
Yeah.
In a way that the reason why that song is so popular is because of that movie, right? The reason why that song is so popular today is because of that movie, 100%.
That's another power of films. They can bring songs back to life.
Yeah.
TV shows bring songs back. Like, how many songs has Stranger Things used that they put those songs back in the zeitgeist?
Oh yeah, it happened with what's that song? What is it? Run Up a Hill or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that song got a big resurgence. Yeah, that song got a huge resurgence because of Stranger Things. Oh, here's one of mine, and it's on my brain because we just so you know, PCP Movie Night returns on Monday night with the Karate Kid franchise. We're talking about all 5 movies, and that first Karate Kid movie's got a lot of great musical moments. My favorite is when Daniel is going on the date with the girl, right? And they're doing like putt-putt golf and everything. It's your typical first date you do, not only when you're a teenager, but even as an adult, right? It's like the same kind of like first date kind of vibe. And they're playing that Young Hearts Beat Fast. You know that song? Yeah, that song. Yeah, that's a great one. What is Love at the Night at the Roxbury? Oh, how about Danger Zone in Top Gun? That's a good one, right? Highway to the Danger Zone. That's good. That's really good. All right. Well, Amy, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Everybody, we hope that Nick Barucci will be here on Thursday night. So we'll get that set up. We'll let everybody know. We got lots of cool interviews coming up here on the channel. Hector Ortiz with some good ones. Layla in Goodfellas. Driver's Seat on Boogie Nights. Yep. Oh, the movie Drive, which I've never seen. Well, Amy's gone. She left. But we were wrapping up anyway. So what a great conversation. Dynamite's got some killer books coming up in 2025. And it all starts this week with Red Sonja, the new Altered Purgatory Grindhouse book. That looks saucy and super fun. Green Hornet, Miss Fury by Alex Segura and edited by our buddy Joe Corallo. So y'all go check that stuff out. No, I've never seen Drive, Big Herm. Never have. All right, we're dipping out on behalf of everybody here at PCP. Station, pop, pop, boom, PCPX, y'all. We love